So who has learned about slope before? Okay, so slope is the steepness of a line. Okay, the higher your rise is, the more steep your line is going to be. So if I wanted to find a slope given a graph, what would you guys do? Does anyone know how to find the slope when you're given a graph? So if I put this picture in front of you, and I said, tell me the slope, how would you know? How would you know what your slope is? Holly, you think you remember? Maria?
Don't you have to make a comment with that?
Yeah, you're going to count your rise over run. So your rise is your up and down. Your run is your left to right. So I want to count how far up or how far down I have to go to the next point, and how far right or how far left I have to go to the next point. Okay? So in number 1, I have my 2 points. You always count up and down first. That's why the rise is on the top. You always count your up and down first, then your left and right. It doesn't matter what point we start with. Okay, do you guys want to start with the bottom point or the top point?
Top.
Okay, so I need to count how far down I need to go to be on the same level as the next point. Okay, so starting right here, I have to go 1, 2, 3, down. Since I'm going down, is that the negative direction or positive direction? Negative. So I went -3. So my rise is -3. Once I get to the same level as that point, I have to count how far left or right I need to go to meet that point. So I have to go 1 spot to the left to meet that point. Is the left, you think, the negative direction or the positive direction? Negative. So I went -1 spot over. So m means slope. That's the variable we use for slope. So m equals, my rise was -3, so that goes on top. My run was -1, that goes on the bottom. And then just simplify. What's -3 over -1?
3.
Yeah.
3.
Negative over negative is a positive, and then any number over 1 is just itself, so it would just be 3. So my slope is 3. Yes, Morgan?
It's okay if we did both on the right.
Yeah. So if you went up and to the right? Yeah. So Morgan's asking, is it okay if we did the other direction? So you don't have to do this, but I'm going to show you it doesn't matter what point you start with. So let's say you started with the bottom point. So you got to figure out, okay, I need to go up to meet at the same level as the next point. So 1, 2, 3. So that was +3. And then I have to go to the right 1 direction to get to the point. So that one ends up being +3 over 1, which still simplifies to +3. So it doesn't matter which direction you go, whether you start at the top or the bottom, you're going to get the same exact slope every single time. Okay?
What if they're on the same line? Like the ones underneath it?
Oh, like straight up and down.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Okay, number 2. So those are my 2 points. John, where do you want to start? You want to start at this point or you want to start at that point? This one. Okay. So we're starting right here. Do I need to go up or down to be on the same level as the next point? I need to go down. So I only need to go down 1. Since I'm going down, that's the negative direction. So that's -1. Then I have to go right to actually meet the point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Since I'm going 7 to the right, is that positive or negative? Positive. So my slope is my rise on top, so -1 over my run, which is +7. Now if you went the other way, you would go up 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the left. So that would be +1 over -7. Are those the same thing?
Yes.
Are you just saying that?
No, because, and as long as it has the one negative, it's the same thing.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter where your negative is located on your fraction. As long as there's only one, it's going to stay negative, okay? So either one would work. The reason why that is because if I did -8 divided by 2, that's what the fraction bar means, division, I would get -4. If I did 8 divided by -2, I would still get -4. Okay, so the location of the negative does not matter. These are saying the same thing, so it doesn't matter which way you count. Okay, number 3. Emma, top or bottom? Okay. So I have to count down, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went down, that's -4
Over 0?
over 0. I'm not moving anywhere left and right, right? So this is 0.
So would be, and with -4?
-4 over 0. Does anyone have their calculator out? Okay, do -4 divided by 0. It says error, right? You can't do a number divided by 0. It doesn't work.
Usually.
Never. So what we say is undefined.
Makes it
Our
easy.
slope is undefined. So when it's going straight up and down, that's an undefined slope because you can't do something divided by 0.
I remember this from like 6th grade. And then sideways is another word.
Yes, you know this word. So
Do I know?
you do. So let's say I start at this point right here, number 4. I'm not going anywhere up and down, right? I'm already on the same level as the other point.
So it'd be 0 over 3.
Yeah, so my rise is 0, and then I'm going 1, 2, 3 over. So my slope is going to be 0 over 3 because I don't have a rise. Well, what happens when you have 0 in the numerator? What's 0 divided by a number?
So it's just 3.
Type it in a calculator. 0.
I do know that word.
Yes, you do know that word. So that's equal to 0. So this is what I would tell my freshmen and my juniors. It helps them remember which one is which one's 0, which one's undefined. So if you have 0 in the numerator, that's okay. Yes, John?
Don't you just like put a slash to the zero?
That means no solution.
Oh, I thought that's what it was.
No, that just means no solution.
That's from Mr. Reed, he taught us something different.
No, that's for
That's enough.
equations, not for slope. Okay, anyway, so if 0's in the numerator, that's okay. If 0's in the denominator, that's a no-no. Okay, that's undefined.
Is this where we do a squared plus b squared?
No, not yet.
Oh.
No,
Is this where we do y equals mx plus b?
not yet. Kind of. With slope, yeah. We're not gonna be graphing that though.
Yay. Thank you.
Okay, and then number 5, sometimes you're gonna have lines that aren't giving you points. Okay, so if you wanna find the slope, you have to pick 2 exact points. So exact points are where your line is hitting right at the corner of a square. So I see an exact point at, only right here, and right here.
It's -1, 4.
It's kinda hard to
the
tell, cause
edge?
these are a little close, but these are the ones that look most exact to me. There's
See,
the
I
ends.
disagree.
I don't like that.
This one I see the corner, and I see the corner here, and I kinda see the corner here. I don't know, it'll be more accurate when you're looking at your homework. Pick your, oh, you got them, okay, alright. Grace, you wanna start at the top or the bottom? Okay, so we gotta go 1, 2, 3 down. So this is my rise. Then I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the right.
Negative 3 over 10.
Correct. Do we all feel pretty confident with counting slope on a graph?
Indeed. Here comes the fun.
So finding the slope given 2 points, there's different methods that you're gonna learn to find the slope when you're given 2 points. The first one is you could actually plot these 2 points and do what we did above and count the slope in between them. Okay, so in number 1, I have -2, 3 and 2, 2. So I'm gonna plot those 2 points. So this is my x, this is my y, here's my x-axis, here's my y-axis. So this is telling me -2 on the x-axis, and then 3 up. Right? And then I gotta plot this point. So that's +2 and +2. So once you plot those 2 points, you're just gonna count the slope between them.
Negative 1 over 4.
Which one did you start with, Riley?
Top of that.
So you went down 1,
No, over 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you went the other way, you would have 1 over -4, which is fine, those are saying the same thing. Okay, same thing for number 2. So we have 6, 4 and 3, 2. I'm gonna highlight these, this is kind of hard to see. Okay, so 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right, and then up 4.
Negative 2, negative 3.
And then we have 3, and then up 2. And then we're just gonna count. I'm gonna start from the bottom in this one. So I'm gonna go up 2. And then 1, 2, 3. I went up and to the right, so they're both positive. So my slope is +2 over 3. Rise over run.
Do you have to put in the M?
Yeah. Okay, I'm only gonna do the first 2 of these. So the second way you could find the slope given 2 points is using the slope formula. Has anyone used this before?
Oh, yeah.
So you subtract your y's, and then you subtract your x's. So your y-axis is what goes up and down, your y values. So that's our rise. This is representing the rise, how far up and down I'm going. And your x's are your left and right. Those are the numbers that go left and right. So I'm seeing how far I'm going left and right by subtracting those 2 things. So this is representing your rise over run without having to actually plot it and count. So it doesn't matter which one's your y1 or your y2. Okay? What you need to do is just pick any y to start with to plug into your formula.
Three minus two.
So you want to start with 3.
Yeah, wait.
So we're going to start with 3. So if I use this y, then I got to subtract this y. So it's y minus y.
Yeah.
So 3 minus 1 over. So the reason why we put 1s and 2s with our x's and y's is because see how this is y1 and x1? That means that's the x that goes with the y. So if I started with this y in the denominator, so below, I need to start with the x that goes with the y that I started with. So if I started with 3, then the x that goes with it is 5. So I have to start with 5 in the denominator. And then you're going to subtract your x's, so then it's going to be 5 minus 1. So I did y minus y, 3 minus 1, x minus x, 5 minus 1. Okay, and then you just calculate it out. So 3 minus 1, that's 2. 5 minus 1, that's 4, but let's make sure we always simplify. How could you simplify 2 over 4?
One
Right?
half.
That is 1/2, right? We could divide both of these by 2. So my slope is 1/2.
That's easy.
So let's try again with number 2. Juliana, what y do you want to start with? Sure. Okay, so we're going to do 7 minus 1, y minus y. If you started with 7 in my denominator, so below, what x value do I have to start with? Grace?
-1.
-1. -1 is the one that goes with 7. So -1. So be careful. This is where people make the biggest mistake. The first mistake people make is they do x on top, y on the bottom. The second mistake is when you're subtracting a negative. So no matter what, the formula is saying subtract the 2. So I'm doing -1 minus whatever the other value is. Well, the other value is a -4.
So it'll be -5.
No.
-3.
So this is minus and negative. What happens when you have two negatives?
You add all.
It becomes a positive. So this becomes -1 plus 4.
So it's 4. Or -4 plus -1 is.
It's +4 minus 1.
Oh, because you change.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So 7 minus 1 is 6. -1 plus 4, that's +3.
Makes sense.
So don't just do -1 minus 4 because the 4 is negative. It's got to be that double negative. Minus -4. We got to simplify. What's 6 over 3? What's 6 over 3? A fraction's like division, so this is saying 6 divided by 3. What's 6 divided by 3?
2.
2. So my slope is +2. Okay, we're going to cut it off here. So your homework tonight's just going to be 3.1, and then the rest of your notes tomorrow will be in a video tomorrow from the other class. Okay, so we'll finish the